Good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Serge, and welcome to another episode of Search for the Truth. And my goal is to educate people, empower people with their health issues, with their health, so they can get better naturally. I'm a firm believer that we can help the body with good lifestyle, and this is my goal. And this morning, this is a topic I've never really talked about before, but I'm really excited to have my following guest, Miss Cathy, with us from Toronto, I believe you said.
Oh, close. Yes, just outside.
Outside of Toronto. So thank you for joining us this morning. And if you guys have any questions for my guest, please let me know in the comment section below so I can ask her about anything you want me to ask her about. So the topic this morning, one of the topic I would like to get started is laughter, right? So first of all, can you tell us why you are so passionate about laughter, laughing? It's one of the best remedy out there, but why?
Right? We've all heard laughter's the best medicine, right? And it's true, but we have to take the pill to get the benefit. But there's no pill.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the beautiful part, right? We get to administer our own dose whenever we want. Um, so laughter, we really have all heard that laughter is the best medicine. And I
Yeah.
say, have you had your daily dose? So we get to secrete dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins every time we laugh, every time we smile, in fact, we
Yeah.
start secreting and then we giggle, haha, pew, pew, pew. I think the very most important part of laughing every day for me is the oxygen. We can,
Oh,
right? We can live without food and water for a few days. We might be grumpy and uncomfortable.
yeah, sure.
But we
Yeah,
can only live without oxygen for a few minutes,
that's a very good point there.
right? And so
Yeah.
laughter forces us, like you can't, when you're laughing, you're exhaling, ha, 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 ha. So you have to, at some point, go,
So it
and
stimulates the oxygen to be taken by the lungs.
right, a deep diaphragmatic breath. And here's a beautiful part about why oxygen is so important. I know you know. The brain requires 25% more oxygen than the rest of the body as an operating principle. So when,
Wow.
right? Wow, I know.
Yeah.
So when we're stressed, we're not breathing properly, right? We're shallow breathing, right? We're just kind of trying to get through. So
Yeah.
laughter, again, just like, I'll give you an example. Have you ever lost your keys, phone, glasses, and you're flapping around? You're like, oh, I gotta go.
It,
Where are they?
it
Right?
happens once in a while. Yeah.
Right? Everybody has. So here's a tip. I can't stop you from losing something. Haha, sorry. How
That'd
can
be
you?
nice. You don't have a
Right?
pill for that or something?
Magic wand.
Yeah, right.
But what I can do is give you a tip. Next time you're flapping around, like, I gotta go. Maybe my words will squeak in your brain. And oh, what did Cathy say? Stop. Take a nice deep breath in. Laugh it off. Ha 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 ha. And then you'll find your keys, because what happens when we're stressed is blood, lymph, oxygen leaves our brain
Yeah.
because we go into fight, flight, or freeze.
Yeah.
Right? We don't need our brain. We don't need our solution provider.
We
We
don't.
didn't. We need to get out of stress. So this allows us to,
Wow.
right? Thank you. Wow. Right? You got it. Right? So we breathe in. Our brain gets all like full of oxygen, boop, 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 and then, oh my gosh, my keys are right there. Look, they're right there. Because when we're stressed, we can't see properly.
I was looking at some stats, or I was reading some statistics some time ago, and the people were claiming that most Americans are in that constant fight or flight, which makes a lot of sense to me. People are stressed out, people are anxious, overwhelmed, they're busy, and it's really interesting that you're bringing that point. Is we don't seem to breathe anymore. We don't take the time to breathe, and laughter is, like you just said, awesome way to do so.
Right? Like everybody's had that time where they were giggling. It might have been a long time ago when they were kids, but where you're laughing so hard, your stomach hurts and your cheeks
Yes.
are hurting. Those are the laughter muscles. That's all. And, even though I'm a trained professional, I'm a professional laugher.
Wow, never heard of that.
Hello, nice to meet you. Yeah, so I'm sure that when people experience laughter yoga for the first time, it is awkward because it's not about jokes or comedy. It's just laughter, intentional laughter exercises. So, there's warming up. So when we're clapping palm to palm so that we're activating the meridians. And there's a mantra and a rhythm. So we say 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and it's ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. And that's for the adults. That's for the priming, because when you come to a club, you start ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. It seems childish and silly. It is.
That's the
Well,
whole point, right?
that's the whole point. Yes. And adults need that, right? If you're in your head and you're like, this is weird. Oh my gosh, you want me to laugh for nothing? So this gives us something to do. For people that are so serious, they're in their head. They're like, I can't just laugh. Okay. So just clap then. Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. And then the next time you come to the club, as soon as you hear ho, ho, your brain says, oh, and it remembers. And then you're like, okay, ho, and it's fun. And you just get into play mode. But because it's not jokes or comedy, it is awkward. Just so
it's not the same.
It's not the same. It's not the same. But the beautiful part about laughter is when we're laughing, we're engaging our diaphragm. So we don't, well, I mean, it does force us to laugh, to breathe deep, but that moves our diaphragm. It's like internal jogging. We get energy. We get, our all of our trillions of cells having a party inside. And, it's scientifically proven. Thank goodness I didn't have to do the science. I just to get to point people, oh, it's over there, the science.
Yeah, we don't need to know why. We just need to know how to train your body again to be in that playful mode.
In that playful mode. And you did talk about, most North Americans, I would say, or even the world at this point is right? Is in stress mode. And I know and probably many of the listeners know, the amygdala, it hasn't evolved. It's still like this little reptilian thing. So when we go into stress, that's the stress center. That's where it's held. And so we are in stress a lot. And when we're in stress, as you know, we're not healing. We're not really digesting properly when we're in stress. So when we laugh, it just takes us out of that stress response for a moment at least. And then we can be present for the moment. Laughter is really a funny thing. It's an interesting thing because when we're laughing full on, our knees get weak. So as far as a survival mechanism, it's not very good. We can only laugh full on when we feel safe. Like imagine the cavemen when in the early days, there they are, they're having a good old laugh, and then they get eaten by the mammoth, the saber-toothed tiger or something. Right? Because you're just like, ha ha ha, oh my gosh, and then you can't move.
Yeah, that's true. Oh wow, this is so interesting. I've been passionate about social studies and human behaviors, how we all interact. It's really fascinating to me. And I remember a doctor, who talked about the state of the U.S., how much depressed we are, how much stressed we are. And he made the connections with the number of one-stand man, one-stand woman, a comedian. And he said, if you look at the number of those people in the country, it is at the highest point ever. And his point was that because people are so down, they are trying to find a way to lift them up, and they find ways in humor, in laughing. So is there any difference when you go see a show, a comedian, as opposed to what you're telling us this morning, or laughter is laughter?
Oh, that's great. So laughter is laughter, except if you're watching a show, if you're laughing full on, like, ha, 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 oh, just doing my laughter, ha, 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 right? Because it's not jokes or comedy. You're going to miss the next line and you'll be kicked out of the laughter club. You'll be kicked out of the comedy club because they're like, ma'am, the joke's over. Right? So sorry about Sorry, just waiting for my receptionist to answer the phone.
Okay, good.
There we go. Okay, so so the beautiful part about laughter yoga is it gives you that safe space to laugh as a group. It is challenging to laugh just by yourself, ha ha ha, until until you learn that, by laughing, if you laugh 10 to 15 minutes of sustained belly laughter, it's a cardiovascular workout. So you get, your stomach hurts because it's like you've done a whole bunch of sit-ups or crunches or something, but
Yeah.
you haven't. You've just laughed. How fun. And it connects us.
Yeah.
So when you're in a club, you're generally in person or online now on Zoom, but you're making eye contact.
Yeah.
And you're clapping and chanting. So you're not, unless you're on Zoom, you're not on your technology, right? In a group, you're moving around, you're connecting, you're looking at people. So, and then secreting the love drugs, getting oxygenated. There are so many benefits to practicing this craft. So the difference, yes. So there was a doctor, Dr. Norman Cousins. He was, I can't remember what he was diagnosed with, but he had some, and the doctor said, okay, you have a couple months to live, like go, settle your affairs or whatever you got to do.
Oh, wow.
Right. And he was like, oh, no, I'm not ready yet. And he actually, in the hospital, he started watching comedies. And he was laughing. And then they said, you're being too disruptive. So they kicked him out of the hospital. And he went to a hotel and he just watched comedies and was laughing. And he wrote a book about the anatomy of humor, or the anatomy of an illness.
Wow.
It's his book. And it was all about how if he laughed for 10 to 15 minutes full on, he got 2 hours of pain-free sleep.
Wow. Powerful.
Wow. Thank you. Wow.
I mean, we know today, like you said at the beginning, that a lot of those chronic diseases may arise from a lack of oxygenations in our tissues, leading to acidity and eventually maybe cancer and so on. So you're claiming that laughter can increase oxygen in the body. So it seems to be a powerful, easy tool to do to combat a chronic disease.
Yes, absolutely. Cancer cannot survive in an oxygen-rich body.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
That's powerful.
It's so powerful. Thank you.
It's a small thing that we need to learn how to do. But it seems to me that from my personal experience, because I like laughter, I laugh every day with my staff, with my patients. I like to bring this atmosphere into my clinic. But to me, the benefit of laughter is not necessarily physical, physiological. It's more mental, emotional. Because sometimes, one of those days at the end of the day, I had a bad day. I'm grumpy, in a bad mood. And I start watching some funny videos, and it seems that everything is gone. It seems that my bad day it's over. I'm back feeling better again.
Exactly. It changes your state, kind of like that.
It's powerful.
It's so beautiful. And what happened, I think, was laughter. When people are laughing full on, you can't control them. Like everyone laugh, ha, ha, ha. Okay, take your places, everyone. Ha, 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 ha. Sit down, everybody. Ha, 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 ha. Right? There's no controlling that crowd.
Yeah, that's true. And
Right?
it's contagious.
And it's contagious in a good way. It's contagious
in a good way. Exactly. Oh, that was a bad word of choice.
Right. So when we're laughing, I have laughter yoga actually helped keep me I have a worm composting business. It's the 20th anniversary of that business.
Wow.
And there's so many beautiful things about that. And it's indoor composting with worms. So, not everybody wants worms in the house.
Yeah, I see that.
So about 10 years in, 2012 or so, one more person said to me, ooh, worms in the house. And I was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to put worms everywhere if people are still afraid? If you're afraid, you're not looking at that as a solution.
Correct. Yeah.
Right. So then I was introduced to laughter yoga, and I don't even do yoga. I don't even do like traditional yoga or whatever, just yoga. So when I heard about laughter yoga, I said, wow, what is that? I love laughing. I could do that. And so I started to attend a club. I loved it so much. I got trained as a leader, and I loved that so much. I got trained as a teacher, and I really do believe that it helped me to stay in my worm business. I was just getting discouraged. It was just really hard trying to sell something that people didn't want.
Yeah, I can see that. It can be stressful to be a business owner.
Oh, it can be. So
there's a lot going on. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So right. The bills come in, and where are the customers?
Yeah, exactly.
Always hustling.
Yeah.
And when you have your own business, probably, as you know, people think, oh, you must be so wealthy, you're rich because you have your own business. It's like, no, I make my own hours. That's all.
Yeah. We all wish, right?
Right. So, there's so many things attached. And so I have primed myself that when I start to get stressed, and I'm a person, right? Of course, I get news, things happen.
Life.
Right. Life goes on.
Yeah.
So when I feel myself like tightening up, I'm like, okay, I'm getting stressed. I'm not breathing properly. I better laugh. So then I will go and laugh for 1 minute, just laugh full on, ha 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 ha. And the brain doesn't, you asked about real or, like laughing at a joke or laughing just for laughing. Is there a difference? No, but you need to have the duration. So the brain doesn't know the difference between real and simulated laughter. Or maybe the brain knows. Maybe the brain knows. Maybe the brain's like, this is weird. This isn't normal. What's happening here? Why are you doing that? Right? Because the ego wants to keep us safe. Like, stop looking ridiculous.
Yeah, right.
Right? So the brain's the thinker, the body's the feeler. So the body's like, pew, pew, pew. Ah, yes, keep going. The brain's like, stop it. And the body's like, yes, keep going. I love this. Oh, this is so wonderful.
Fight. Yes, I hear you.
So back to the amygdala, once that we're in constant stress mode. So the amygdala is always firing. And so sometimes when we laugh, people can have an adverse reaction where it bubbles up something negative in their body. Like, they're having like some negative, not negative, but a memory might bubble to the surface.
Yeah.
And so people sometimes get sad after a laughter session because, as especially North America, we don't talk about our issues. We might have a traumatic experience. Everybody has, where something happens and you go, and if we don't deal with that, it just gets squished in. And I know you know this. And then the next one goes on top. And we're like, no, I'm okay. I don't need to talk about that traumatic thing. I'm okay. And that's okay. You can tell your mind you're okay all you want. It's still in your energy. It's still in your body.
Yes. We use a program to put our problems back, and we don't address any of those.
Yeah. Hopefully it's changing, right? I think the new generation, the younger folks seem to be they're more open to talking about things and to alternative therapies and,
true.
Functional medicine, all of the things, that you're doing. And there's lots of ways, tapping, EFT, and all of these things are not new.
So that was my next question, actually. So laughter is one of your things, but do you recommend or use anything else to help people? Because I will assume, like everything in functional medicine or holistic medicine, using different tools may be better than just using one tool. So what are the techniques? You mentioned EFTs. So can you talk a bit more about this and what you use in addition to laughter to help people?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited as a laughter teacher. Just like all different owners of business or whatever, teachers, I bring different tools, and I've been doing tapping since 1999.
Wow.
I'm so happy. I didn't know why it was working. I just learned it and I was like, this is so cool. I love this. And tapping on all the spots, doing the mantra.
So can you demonstrate to my listeners, because a lot of people have never heard of it. I've been doing tapping myself for decades, so I know what it is, but can you demonstrate, maybe do one short sessions, just to tell people a tool to use?
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. It only takes a second. Well, a couple.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's 9 tapping spots and we're tapping on the meridians. So it's like acupuncture without needles. So we're just tapping. So you start on the karate chop on the side of your hand. And there's a mantra, and I want people, and I'm going to use stress because we talked about how much stress people have. So if people have a headache or a pain or something, they want to do that, they can do that. But let's just talk about stress. So you tap, and we're going to repeat a mantra 3 times. And we're going to tap here, and we're going to say, even though I have this stress, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And what listeners or watchers, please do tap along. You'll feel better. And then so we were going to repeat that again 2 more times. Even though I have this stress, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. One more time. Even though I have this stress, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And say it with conviction. And because I hope you really do, because we only have one beautiful body. So that's where you start. So again, if it's headache or I'm afraid of my, I have a meeting, whatever you're tapping on. Okay. But just say stress for now. So the first part is here, and you can do either both sides or just one side, right on the edge of your eyebrow, and you say this stress. And then the side of, this is the rage point. If anyone is like really mad at someone, just tap here. Right? You can tap on just one spot if you want. This stress. And then under the eye, this stress. Under the nose, this stress. Under the mouth, this stress. Collarbone, this stress. This is K27.
This is powerful, actually.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And then, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Over here on spleen meridian, kind of on the side. 8, and then right on the top of the head, this stress. So that's one round. And then, actually, I kind of messed up. You start at the beginning, you assess, like, how much stress am I under? You gauge it between 1 to 10, 10 being, oh my gosh, I'm so stressed, I can't function. And 1, like, I'm just a little bit stressed. And then you tap, you do one round, and you're like, take a deep breath, look in, how do I feel now? Did my number go down? If it did not, you repeat the whole thing again. And then once your number is down, then you can put in your affirmation, like your positive thing. And you would go around again and say, I don't need this stress anymore. Thank you for stopping by.
Yeah.
Goodbye, stress. I don't need you. You just like, and then that's it. And I want to thank you for asking about that. It's the 14th tapping conference is on right now, or maybe it's over. There's all kinds of information. There's all kinds of information on how to do this. It's very simple. I would really encourage people to look up.
Oh, it's simple. I've seen people change like in a fraction of a second by doing tapping. It's unbelievable. Really powerful.
It's magic. It really, it helped me. My husband used to be the one that would clean the eaves trough, and after I learned how to tap, I was like, oh, I don't need to wait for him to nag him to do it. I can just go do it myself. And so I was standing on the edge of the railing, leaning over, and he comes out. He's like, what are you doing? And so I thought, oh my gosh, maybe fear is to keep you safe. I think I can fly.
Yeah.
So you asked about so I do tapping. So tapping goes with everything. So you can tap and laugh. Ha, 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 ha. And I also do brain gym. So connecting the 2 lobes. So there's cross crawls where you're tapping one hand, wherever you're crossing over your the center meridian.
Wow.
You're connecting your lobes.
Yeah.
So, a simple thing people can do is push one, like put your hand on one shoulder, push down and drag across to your opposite hip, and other side, push down. Those are cross crawls. And then anything else that you do, your lobes are connected. You can take your finger, thumb and forefinger, and just kind of unfurl your ear. And that's a lot of acupressure points.
Yes.
So that's a full body massage.
Yeah.
That's called thinking cap in brain gym. If somebody has a difficult conversation that they need to have, doing a thinking cap before you go and have that conversation, like you want to ask for a raise. Sorry if your staff is watching.
Thank you.
And also, have you heard of Donna Eden and Eden Energy Medicine?
I have not, I believe.
Oh, write down Donna Eden, because she actually cured herself of MS. She's in her 70s now. I think she's around 75. I'm not sure exactly.
Wow.
She has no ailments now. She had tuberculosis, MS. She had all kinds of ailments as a young girl, and somehow was able to transform her life through energy medicine, and now has created this modality that includes qigong and tapping. It's a whole host of modalities that she's created. So I incorporate all of those with my laughter. It's so beautiful.
That's powerful. So as a final note, it's been 30 minutes already, man. It's time fly when you laugh.
When you're having
fun. So as a final note, what can you tell people? The typical patient that I see are stressed out, they're burnout, they don't sleep well. So where did they need to start? There's so much to do out there, but what would you recommend as a first step to do?
I would say, look up the tapping, because if somebody's having trouble sleeping, they can even tap on that. Even though I have trouble sleeping, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Do the tapping. And here's a really quick one for sleeping, since you mentioned sleeping. Take 2 fingers and do a figure 8 around your eyes, either right on the skin or just in the air above. What that does, so if somebody can't go to sleep at night, or they wake up and they can't get back to sleep, this puts you into parasympathetic mode. So either hand, either way, just methodically. And as soon as you yawn, you've been converted into parasympathetic, and that may help you go back. Or another one is, rubbing your hands, shake them off, and then put on your forehead. So that's we have our neurovasculars right here. Sometimes when people are thinking, they're thinking like this, putting pressure on those. This is the same thing. And you can cup the back.
Yes.
Take a couple of nice deep breaths. And I say to people, sometimes when we're on social media, we get a message and it's like, or, we read something and we're like, how could somebody think that? And we start to compose a message.
Yeah.
I say, don't. Do this. Take some breaths.
Yes.
Right, get out of that. And then look at that message and be, oh, you know what? I don't even know that person in person. I don't even know them. Why do I care what they think?
Oh, that's a really good point, because we tend to be a bit emotional on social media sometimes. Yeah.
It's designed for that. It's designed to make us
It is. It
excited.
is. Keep us on the edge and stressed out. And
yeah.
So really good tips there. Really good information. So thank you so much for your time. I put your social media links and your website under the video. So if you guys have any question for her, you want to reach out to my guest, please do so. I'm sure she's going to welcome your emails and your messages. And thank you so much for your time, and have a good rest of the day in Canada.
Thank you so much. I love that surge for the truth.
Awesome. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. Awesome. Take care.
Bye now.